Welcome to another video review here at our YouTube channel, and today I'm going to speak about quick release tactical scope mounts made by er-tac. Their whole array of mounts of this type that they produce. We also have a separate video of basically very similar, almost the same mounts, but with fixed attachment. So with screws where you need tools to put the mounts on the rifle and then off of it. While the quick release, you basically need no tools. You just open this to clamps and you can detach the scope from the rifle or reattach it if you wish. But let's start with some general description or a couple of words regarding the brand. So the er-tac is quite a new brand. It was introduced in 2010. However, the company behind it, Recknagel, it's a very old company that produces scope mounts for 150 years already or even more. So they are definitely not new to this market. They're also, in my opinion, one of the biggest, if not the biggest producer of scope mounts in Europe. But they mostly produce scope mounts for hunting rifles and hunting optics. Their er-tac line normally is meant for professional users and for, I would say, tactical users in the civil circles. They are used by German military and police. They're used also by many other European militaries and police. And they gained quite a lot of, or I would say, they gained a really good reputation with professional users. The reason for it is that they have probably the widest array, or at least among the widest arrays of options among all producers of tactical scope mounts. I always say that there are two companies that are always competing who has more options, Spur and er-tac. Spur claims that he has more options in most cases, I would believe, but it doesn't change the fact that also er-tac has really a lot of different options. And if we start with this type of mounts, so quick release tactical scope mounts, this is something what majority of other manufacturers are lacking. There are not many tactical monoblock scope mounts on the market that would feature quick release. We know, honestly speaking, I can only think about Spur, but Spur was much, they developed similar mounts much later than er-tac. Er-tac was definitely the first, at least to my knowledge. And if we speak about all the options they are offering, they basically offer three different diameters of scope tubes. So 30 millimeter, I think this one is 30, 34 millimeter, I have another 30 here, but they also offer 36 millimeters. So three different scope diameters. Then for each mount, you're able to order it either 20 MOA inclination or straight. So this is 20 MOA. This one, it's straight. And for each diameter and for each inclination, they are offering at least, let's say with 30 millimeters, 5 different heights, with 34 millimeter, 6 different heights, and with 36 millimeters, 2 different heights. So I would say a wide array of options. When you see their table of all the options, it's full of different options. They also produce this type of scope mounts for some special cases, for some special rifle scopes that are maybe a little bit different than others. Let's say for Schmidt & Bender Ultra Short, they're producing a special version of this mounts for 5 to 20 by 50 ultra short scope. So again, really a lot of options. And when you look at their catalog, it's really hard to have any kind of need for the scope mount that they wouldn't produce an option that would be ideal. There is also one thing I have to talk about, and that is that in 2020 they came out with the second generation of these mounts, and all of these mounts here are second generation. And when you're looking at them, it's impossible to see which is first and second generation. The only difference is the material of these parts here. So now they are made out of aluminum. In the start, they were made out of steel. Functionally, this is not really important, but you gain, or you lose some weight. You gain some lightweightness. You lose some weight with this aluminum levers. So this is the difference between the first and the second generation. The second generation has aluminum levers, and that means that they are a little bit lighter. I think it's 35 grams or something like that. They are lighter. They function completely the same. I also have to mention, you see these notches on top with 4 screws. This is er-tac says er-tac universal interface, and they have the whole range of different accessories that go on top of it. So you're able to put red dot mounts on top. You're able to put Picatinny rails on top for, let's say, lasers or flashlights or any other equipment. You're able to put angle cosine indicator for inclined shots. You're able to put on, you name it. They really have a whole bunch of different accessories that fit on this universal interface, and we have a separate video about all these accessories, so you are able to check it out on our YouTube channel. What I also need to speak about are the torque values and how to set the whole, or how to install the mount correctly. So let's start with the upper rings, upper screws. You have to apply 2.2, maximum 2.3 Newton meters on these screws on top. And in the catalog of er-tac, you're able to find that they advise you that you put a small piece of nylon hand glove inside, medical hand glove. Honestly speaking, if you do, it's better than not, but still, even if you don't, it will still work. At least in our experience, we hadn't have a single situation where scopes would move inside of a mount if it's mounted properly. This is the reason for it, is that these rings are 25 millimeters wide, which means that they hold the scope really securely. For the clamps that clamp on Picatinny rail, you can see there are 2 recoil stoppers inside that fit directly into the Picatinny rail. You can adjust the force with which the clamps on the Picatinny rail, and this is with this screw here. Together with each mount, you are getting a screwdriver, and you are just adjusting it nicely, and then with the opening and closing, you will get the right fit, and you will feel when the resistance is just right. Then you know that the clamping force is correct. On their normal screw version of mounts, they say that 10 to 12 Newton meters is enough. Here, I would say you use your common sense and feeling, and you will definitely set it correctly. Okay, last but not least, we have to speak about the very special feature of inclined mounts, so those which are inclined or canted by 20 MOA. They have matched rings, and you can see this with these numbers here, which ring fit together. So 2 and 2 have to be together, and here 1 and 1 has to be together. With each mount, you're also getting these instructions that you have to be careful to match both halves of the rings. So when mounting it, just be careful that you have the same number on the rings together. Okay, I think I covered most of the important factors. I can mention that you are also able to order these mounts in 2 different colors, or even 3, I think 3 different colors. So this is the normal black one. Then you're able to offer 2 different shades of flat dark earth to correspond with Schmidt & Benner scopes. So you have one, I think RAL 8000, and Pantone, I don't know which number. So 2 different sand colors, and you're able to get the mounts in that color as well. We had quite a few customers that ordered these mounts to be colored with, I think, with Cerakote, so that they match their rifles and their scopes. Okay, I think I came to the point where I should do the summary. I usually call this part of the review a sweet and sour part of the review. So I go through the dislikes and likes of mounts, of each product, and I share my opinion about them. So I will start with dislikes like I always do. what I think can be done better or differently with these er-tac mounts. First thing I would say that if they would feature 6 screws, it would be better than 4, but only from a statical point of view. Functionally, even with 4 screws, it's more than enough. You get enough grip, your scope will never slide inside of the mount. I also think that aesthetically it would be nicer if they would have, instead of 25, maybe 30 millimeter wide rings. They would look a little bit more bulkier, maybe more fancier. I also think that they are quite expensive, but on the other side you're getting quick release mount, and I can speak from my own experience that they are 100% repeatable. They go back to 0 each time when you put the scopes on and off, which is a very positive feature. When I speak about 100% repeatability, I'm speaking about an error of less than half an MOA, maybe even 1/10 of MOA only. So nothing is 100% repeatable, but they are good enough that you will not notice any noticeable switch of point of impact. So you can be sure that if you're not an F-class shooter or a bench rest shooter, the repeatability is good enough. Okay, what about the likes, the options? You have so many different options. Like I said, 10 different options for the 30 millimeter mounts, then 12 different options for 34 millimeter mounts, and 4 different options for 36 millimeter mounts. The build quality is great. This quick detach mechanism is, I would say, one of the best and the most nicely designed in the whole industry. I also think that it was really smart that they went and changed these levers to aluminum. The weight, the saving of the weight, honestly speaking, with the scopes now weighing 1 kilogram and rifles 6, 7, 8 kilograms, it didn't change much, honestly speaking, in my opinion. But still, I like this aluminum levers more than I do the standard steel ones that were used before. Like I said, fit and finish is great, the build quality is great, the materials used are great, reliability, the track record of er-tacs is really good. So a lot of things to like, not many things not to like, and even those that I don't like particularly are more of an aesthetic nature than anything else. One additional field where I think that they could done it better or differently, you have to buy bubble level to put it on this universal interface on top of it, top of the scope mount. If they would insert a smaller bubble level inside of the mount, this would be an additional plus, I would say, because many other manufacturers are doing this lately. So thank you for watching. I hope that covered all the important things regarding these mounts. If you have any additional questions, please send us an email or use comments below. We will definitely get back to you. If you have any kind of video requests, also use the comments below, and normally subscribe. If you subscribe to our channel, it means much more than you can realize. Thank you.